So I finished up the top for the laundry room, and there was an awful lot of sanding and fitting and staining to try and get the right color, but we eventually got it figured out, and it's in place now. And you know what? It looks pretty darn good. I think it's there. Of course, there might be a few details here or there that I still need to take care of, but there always seems to be. So would you believe I've gotten back to my ukulele project, where I'm starting to work on these 59 Danelectro ukuleles. I think I'd stopped working on them because I sort of hit a place where it was harder problems to deal with. I'll be honest, it hasn't been going well. The two jobs I've started to do since stepping back into this have both gone sideways on me a little bit, and I've had to figure how I'm going to fix it. The first one was how to join the neck to the body, and originally there wasn't anything there. It was just going to be a butt joint, like just straight one material to the other. Usually there's some kind of joinery that would hold the pieces together better than just two flat parts put together like that. So I decided I needed to kind of solve for that problem, and what I decided to do is put a couple of dowel rods in there, just little pieces of dowel like that. That's not the way you're supposed to do it, but it seemed like at this point that was probably the only way to do it, and these are sort of an experiment. So I made a jig so that I could drill 2 holes and then match them the exact spacing between the body and the neck. What I was planning to do is attach it to the body like this, and then I would take and drill 2 holes into the body. When that was done, this top fence would be, I take the top fence off, I turn it around, and I match it up to the neck, and then I drill the 2 holes on this side. And when you're done, if everything goes right, you end up with 2 matching holes. So if all goes right, you end up with 2 dowels in one and 2 holes in the other, and you can match them together, and you end up with a nice tight joint that brings together the neck and the body. Now this works out really well unless you drill the holes in the wrong place, which is what I did the first time. So while I was drilling this, it moved on me a little bit and put the holes in the wrong place. So then I had to think about this for a while, how I was going to fix this mess. Ultimately, I decided I had 2 things I could do. I could either fill the holes back in and re-drill them, or I could just try and re-drill them and see if there was too much slop. So I did that, and it seems to be just fine. I can now get them lined up really beautifully, and there isn't really enough slop, so I think that's going to be okay. I think I'll be able to glue those on. But before I glued them on, there was one thing I wanted to do, and that was I wanted to embellish the headstock with some sort of logo or something, and I really didn't have anything. I didn't know what plan to go with. Ultimately, I thought maybe just some script lettering with my last name, so that's what I decided to go with. So I thought I would try the CNC machine and do a little V-carving of the lettering in there, the script lettering. So I got that set up and started cutting it, and it really didn't come out very well at all. I was not happy with the way that it went. It seems like I should have known better. I had these test ones and they didn't work out very well at all, so I don't know why I just jumped in and continued to try and do this again anyway, but so I'm really pretty uncertain how I'm going to recover from this one right now. I have a couple of ideas, but I really need to step back and and kind of figure out what to do. Yeah, all right, I'll fix it. It's got to be a way I can fix it. One other cool thing I was playing around with is I just wanted to see what would happen if I printed out the pickguard, and that's kind of what it's looking like at the moment. I also made a black one just to sort of see what that's going to look like once it gets the pickguard on there. Several years ago, I made some paddles for our local Hawaiian Canoe Club, and there's a video on my channel that shows me making those. But while I was doing that, I also wanted to make some unique paddles, and I started cutting them out. Here's my paddle template. So I wanted to make these scroll saw shapes through the paddle, and this is what I ended up with. So the idea is that these paddles would have lots of cuts through them and be made from separate pieces that would be glued together, so you would have this unique pattern running through them. So up here, this is one of the shafts which I started working on. I've laminated 3 pieces together to make it all one. There's the angle that you would have when this is hooked onto the paddle like that. So there they are, my scroll saw paddles. Yep, that's an unfinished project. So I think that's about it for this time. Thanks for watching, hanging in there with me, and I'll see you next time.